So the Bucs will have a 2nd down and 5 as they try to come back from that early touchdown. And what a tremendous catch that was by a Pennwood wide receiver. So less than 3.5 minutes in, and your Interboro Bucs facing an 8-0 deficit, coming off 3 straight losses rather, and not something that you see a lot during the Steve Lennox era. Bucs jumped out 2-0 to start the season, and then 3 consecutive losses, and this is the first league game tonight against the Pennwood Patriots. So, and of course, on the first series of the game, Pennwood comes down and scores. So, at this point, you know what Interboro needs is a little bit of a kick in the butt, something to spring them forward, and maybe it's Kali Kuyate in his return. Bucs got everybody back tonight. We got Noah Nickel back at the left tackle position after a couple weeks in concussion protocol. Kali Kuyate had an AC sprain. He's back. I believe Andrew Grebe is back in action, although I don't see him out there right this second, but we'll. And then Kuyate hitting the backfield, tries to bounce off, and he does, and he gets close to the original line of scrimmage, like a pinball. Gino Marcassano, who last game, I literally feared for his life during that last game. You saw it right here on the Interboro Television Network, and he's back. Grebe is in uniform on the sideline, but not in the game right yet. But sitting there talking to the coaches, so it's very possible we will see him in. Kuyate with about 5. You see down at field level, have a lot of, looks like the cheer squad grew considerably, and I guess it did. Not only is the varsity cheerleaders here, but the JV cheerleaders are here. And then also the little girls you see in the yellow are members of the Future Bucs Cheer Clinic put on by Cheer Interboro, or the Interboro cheerleaders. They were even nice enough to allow my young daughter to come in, even though she's not a district resident. We paid her way in, and she's down there. So my baby Eva, she's down front and center cheering with the team. So I'm really happy about that. Unhappy about the Bucs being down 8-0. Unhappy about it being 4th down, and we'll wait and see. It's 4th and about 2. And Forte, the fullback, Kuyate, the tailback. It goes to Forte. Forte should have, definitely has it, as he bowls forward actually for about 7. So he'll get down to the 42 or 43-yard line. Tonight's game kind of a family affair. Even my wife and other daughter are here, so that's cool to see. That's the way high school football should be. And Kali Kuyate running the ball like it should be run. That's close to 1st down yardage. They do give him the 1st down. They move the chains up to the 33-yard line. At 4:45 or so to go in quarter number 1. This time it's going to be an option. Kuyate, great block outside. Zizza with a good block. Sprung Kuyate an extra 6 or 7 yards, whereas he could have been brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Bucs student section here in neon. This is Call. Be about a yard shy of the first down, I think. No, they're moving it. First down, Dan Call, so good job by him. Dan Call also a pleasant surprise in my government class, doing a real good job in there as well. He's a good all-around kid. Forte, the lone running back. It'll go to Call on the sweep. No. It's up the middle to Forte, and Forte a first down. So they're really running through big holes set up by the offensive line. Again, Forte the single setback. This time it does go to Call on the jet sweep. And Call close to the end zone and in. Dan Call with a nice 11-yard touchdown run to bring the Bucs to within 2. And we'll see if they chase that point. Very efficient drive. About 5 minutes and change. They just ran the ball right down the throat of Pennwood. And they'll attempt to kick. Adela Prescolwi to kick. And it's blocked. So it'll be 8-6. So great evening thus far at the Interboro High School. They've been hyping this all week. This is our PBIS, Positive Behavior Support Initiative. That event tonight was a school-wide tailgate, which took place at the high school. Chef Johnston and Chef Barrett cooking up burgers and dogs on the grill. Mrs. Malinich and myself. We play more of a supporting role, literally, like we mess with rolls all night and put the buns in the pan, and Mrs. Malinich was in charge of the cheese. We had Miss Hume, she was there helping out as well. Superintendent Riley was here, so it was a real team effort. Vice Principal Sean Conti also there helping out. So a lot of great teachers. And a lot of students and community members came by, and it was a really great deal. Like, to come into the game, it costs $5. If you bought a ticket to the tailgate, it was $5, and you got all the food you can eat: hot dogs, hamburgers, and soda and water. So it's basically like getting free food. And once people caught on, man, it was, a lot of people showed up, and we had a really great event. And then to make it even better, the marching band, the cheerleaders, the Interboro future cheerleaders, and then the fans marched up Trites Avenue all the way and processed into the stadium as a school, and it was awesome. And it was awesome to be a part of. And next week, we're going to do the same thing, except we won't be having the tailgate, but we'll be having the homecoming floats and the homecoming procession and all, and that'll be next Friday night right here, South Avenue Sports Complex. And as of right now, the weather is going to be beautiful. So please, next Friday, come on out. And then the dances the next night. We had our homecoming court announced this week, so congrats to all those students as well. They'll be kind of the stars of the show next week. So lots going on in the next 7 to 10 days here at Interboro, and if you're out there, we hope you're a part of it. Time for the defense. And hand out, stretch play to the outside, and then cuts back inside. And that's Sias Wolo, number 29. Not big in stature, but what a tremendous amount of elusiveness. 5'9", 185 pounds. Sias Wodo. 3 wide receivers. Once again, this time they try and go up the middle. And Zizza says, I don't think so. So about 2nd down and 10. They gave him maybe a half a yard on that play, if that. This time pistol formation for the Pennwood quarterback. That's Desmond Johnson Jr. This time it goes to Elijah Gilplay, and he's still on his feet. He cuts back inside. Glipe. 1st down and then some, down to the 35. So you can see Pennwood has their fair share of athletes. They'll mark it inside the 35 at the 34, and Coach D'Esposito wants a timeout. So 1:50 to go in quarter number 1. Bucs reeling, down 2, Pennwood driving. And the Bucs band plays. Crowd's starting to fill in a little bit here. Students looking good. As you said, it's neon night. I just 2 seconds ago read that the Phillies aren't going to bring back Pete Buchanan next year. That's a shame. And Zizza in the backfield for a loss of 4 or 5. I was looking at my Twitter feed during that, what's it called? Timeout. And for crying out loud, my heart's broken. I really liked Pete Buchanan a lot. And I'm sad that he's not coming back as manager. And Pennwood jumps off sides. Second down and really long. 2nd down and about 18 for Pennwood. And they'll look to pass. Pressure up the middle, and it's dumped off and incomplete. So 3rd down and long, 3rd and 18. Under a minute to go. Pressure up the middle from Dowdy. Forces the quarterback to run. We'll get close to the original line of scrimmage. A little bit beyond it is Desmond Johnson Jr. So it'll be 4th down and 7 or so. So 32-yard line of scrimmage. And that's the end of the first quarter. After quarter number 1, it's 8-6 in favor of Pennwood. You know, after all that cooking, and I didn't really get to do a lot of cooking this time, as Mr. Barrett, Mr. Johnson handled most of the cooking today. But after all that watching food be cooked and putting the hamburgers and hot dogs on buns and running it back and forth, I'm hungry. And I had one hot dog, and it was good. But I could certainly have gone for a couple of those hamburgers. But Bob, the bus driver, ate about 6 of them. Mr. Pattinson stole a hamburger on the way out. So I'm pretty hungry. Oh, my God. They're like shooting shirts that... Are they like glowing? They definitely had a shirt that just got fired over here. Yeah, they're down there. They must have just stopped firing the shirts. Look at my baby. She really is a tremendous cheerleader. She's right in between Bray and Maya. Yeah. Well, Bucs will take over on downs. Decent field position up at the 37, 38-yard line. So Jared Delaprascoli, Josh Delaprascoli. Jared Delaprascoli, that's who it is. I know I get it right eventually. Jared Delaprascoli, quarterback, out for drive number 2. Fumble on the play. Grebe picks it up, but they're going to lose about 15 yards. They'll probably give him forward progress, but still, ball spotted at the 25. So it'll be a 13-yard loss on the play. It'll be 2nd and 23 on the botched handoff between Jared Delaprascoli and Grebe. Handoff, Forte, big hole. Stays on his feet. Gets back almost all of the yards and still manages to try to call a horse collar on his opponent. It wasn't a horse collar, but he did set up a more manageable 3rd down, 3rd and 10. Great job by Joe Forte. That pass is broken up. Nice job on the play. Number 13, Zakai Sharif. He steps in front of the intended receiver. And Sharif with the beat down. Jared with a nice punt. Line drive inside the 30. Pennwood right up the gut. Past midfield, finally brought down. Raheem Bowens. And a solid punt return gives Pennwood great field position. So the 44-yard line is where they'll take over. And again, you really, can't ask for much better field position following that punt return. So Desmond Johnson Jr. out for another drive. He drops back. He fires over the middle, and it's incomplete. A whole swarm of Interboro Bucs surrounded the intended receiver there. Anari Hankey was the man it was intended for. And a screen. And a great tackle by Mike Ventura at the 43-yard line. That could have been a dangerous play as Glipe caught the screen in the backfield and had plenty of running room, and Ventura dove and got to the shoestrings and brought him down for really only a 2-yard gain, setting up a 3rd down and long for the Patriots. Trips to the right, 4 wide receivers in total. And the Bucs put the pressure on, and he's brought down. Brought down right behind the line of scrimmage. And Pennwood will take a timeout with 9:05 to go. I believe that was Charles Harris with the sack. Timeout over. 4th down and 10. Pennwood no interest in kicking the ball. So they're going to go for it from the 44-yard line. A stop here give the Bucs good field position. Wide receiver was offsides, not called. He floats it up, looking, but this time it was a little bit too strong. Terrence Moyala is the guy that it was intended for. Desmond Johnson Jr.'s pass, really flick of the wrist, 50 yards in the air. Well done by him. But it was a little bit strong for Moyala. So Bucs will take over. Pennwood receiver finally trots off the field. Forte again, the only running back. Kuyate in motion. It goes to Forte. To midfield. Good job, Danny Call, still on his feet to the 30-yard line. Dan Carr found a hole, and a great job. Pennwood came to the left side, or the right side of the line, and really got in the backfield, but the play went the other way. Dan Carr found a hole and about 20 yards of running room, and was really one step away from breaking it. Again, good to see Dan getting some positive yards, some positive carries in this game. This time it goes to Forte, to the 26. A special appearance by my mother-in-law and father-in-law too, man. You know it's a family affair now. I look down and I see the whole fam down there. I know they're not here to see me call a game. This time it's Danny, or Grebe rather. Grebe inside, the ball on the ground. Ball on the ground, and Pennwood picks it up. Flag on the play. And I'm not sure if it was on Noah or one of the Pennwood players. Grebe had a great run, first down yardage, ball popped out, and it was right around the Interboro player. They had an opportunity to turn around and pick it up, and they could not. Pennwood got it. And then the flag. So right now, currently is spotted at the 14-yard line. I don't see any type of ball movement. Now it's going back. So obviously this penalty is on Pennwood. And it's a half the distance penalty. That's why it's at the 6.5, 7-yard line. And runner wrapped up in the backfield for about a 2-yard loss. That's glee play. The second down, 13 yards to go. Pennwood will stretch it out again. 3 wide to the far end. Johnson Jr., shotgun formation. Takes the snap, finds his man. Very close to first down yardage. That's Moyala. 5'6" sophomore. Be about a yard shy of the first down. Johnson Jr. under pressure. Still on his feet, eludes like half the Bucs team, finds a man wide open in the middle, 35-yard line, 40 down to the 45, call with the tackle. But great job by Desmond Johnson Jr. eluding pressure, finds Anari Hankey, and Hankey gets it up to the 44. Good athleticism. And it's good run down to the 35-yard line. Glee play. They'll give him the spot at the 33. So now Pennwood chewing up huge chunks of yardage. 5:30 to go, quarter number 2. Looks like the Bucs band's going to entertain us at halftime. High snap, pitch. Good tackle by Zizza. As Tayshawn Harmon had himself a lot of real estate in front of him. And we have an injury on the field. Looks like Ryan Dowdy, number 43. Bucs take a knee. He's back on his feet. So he'll come off the field. Coach as well as Jenna, the athletic trainer, out there to walk Dowdy off. So second down at about 7. Desmond Johnson Jr. 2 wide on each side. Pressure up the middle, and they force him to throw. They're going to call it an incomplete pass. The pressure came from Mike Moore. So third down and 7. It says 8 on the scoreboard. 4:38 to go in quarter number 2. Harmon in motion. Johnson Jr. steps up in the pocket, fires and almost intercepted. Pass was a little hot. In and out of the midst of Dan Call. So it'll bring up 4th down. And the horn section is exited. So a big 4th down play. Once again, Bucs looking to get decent field position. Turn the ball over on downs. Johnson slips to the outside. He's going to try and run it himself. He puts his head down and gets it. So first down to the 21-yard line. Not much on that play. And there's the local cop chopper, probably just trying to catch a view of the football game as they travel around and look at some of the local high school action for the news. High snap corralled by Johnson. Pass up, and once again, Mohala with another touchdown in traffic, this time over Convery. He just goes up and gets it. I mean, the strategy employed by Pennwood, not that hard to read. Throw the ball up and hope that somebody grabs it. And it's happened twice now. Both touchdowns on jump ball plays. And Pennwood with a 14-6 lead. And they'll go for two after this timeout. So Pennwood calls a timeout. 3:27 to go in the second quarter. And truthfully now, if you're Interboro, I think you're at a crossroads in the season. I mean, you got out to a 2-0 start. You beat a decent Central League team in Strathaven. Probably a team who's in the middle of the pack, maybe even lower part of Central League. You get a win against Norristown, who's not a great team. Then you play a Newman Goretti team that these guys say they should have beat, but Newman Goretti stacked with recruits. Lose pretty big after a run where they gave up about 28 points in the 3 minutes. Upset at home to Perk Valley. Blown out last week at Penn Charter. And now, the thought was, well, once we get to league play, we'll be okay. It's almost halftime of the first league game. And they're losing to Pennwood by 8. And it could be more. Johnson Jr. rolls out. Johnson Jr. flips it up. Nice pitch and catch for the 2-point conversion. And the athleticism of the Pennwood Patriots is proven to be too much. 16-6. With 3:27 to go. And my point here is this. This game is far from over. And you see Coach Lennox out there always encouraging, never, being openly critical or getting down too much on his players. He wants to win. But he'll never embarrass or demean a player. He goes out there, he lets his assistant coaches do their job, and he does his best to encourage on the sidelines. And right now, he's scratching his head because it's been 3 weeks since their last win, and they're certainly itching for a W. 10 points down, they have the ball now. There's 3:27 left, plenty of time for a score. They get the ball to start the second half. And this one will go to Kuyate. Kuyate up the gut. Kuyate to the 38. And honestly, offensively, there's nothing they really have to do any differently. They've been moving the ball. They've been running the ball up the gut real nice, getting plenty of yards. They just have to hang on to it. Jared to pass. Looking for Kuyate out of the backfield, but it was a little bit hot. Britt loves the drama. Second down and 10. This handoff. About 4 for Forte. Under 3 in the first half. Oh, another fumble. Call picks it up and just falls down with it, but the miscues just will not stop. And about a 20-yard loss on that play. They'll bring up a punting situation. So the 27 is the line of scrimmage, and truthfully, the last thing the Bucs want to do is put these athletes for Pennwood. I mean, they got 3 safeties deep, and any one of those kids back there can get the job done. And this is a nice spiral punt, but you have a kid with tremendous athleticism in Raheem Bowens. Now this time he's brought down at the 50 as he did a little bit more dancing than running. So midfield is the line of scrimmage, and there's still plenty of time for Pennwood to strike again. Three wide to the near end. Glee play. Brought down out of bounds. So a loss on the play at 2 yards. Out of bounds, so the clock stopped. Stay tuned at halftime for a performance by the Bucs band. They got all the parents out there to take pictures with the cheerleaders too. That's awesome, and the kids. Looks like Mrs. Riley, superintendent, going to get some pictures for Twitter. Johnson Jr., all day to throw. Fires it downfield. Too strong. I mean, it's like playing Madden. Just throw the ball up and hope that like your best athlete catches it. And it's worked a couple of times. 3rd and 12. Johnson Jr. in the shotgun. Once again, looking to fire it deep. Once again, all day to throw. He'll tuck it. He'll run it. He stops. He's still on his feet. Throws it a little bit high. Hankey, the intended receiver, guy who just happens to be there. He just posts up in the middle of the field, waiting for Johnson to throw it. It's 4th down now. And perhaps because they're in their own territory and it's close to the end of the half, they'll try and punt it away. The punter for Pennwood is number 8, Edmund Dennis. This is why they don't kick. High snap, low line drive kick, whacks the umpire. and down at the 33. So the Bucs again down 10, 46.1, the time on the clock. Della Priscoli. We got Kuyate out of the backfield. Flag on the play, so whatever happens, this is probably coming back up to midfield. Block in the back on Interboro, so backwards they go. So the 32 will be the new line of scrimmage. Still first down. 35 and a couple of ticks left. Quarter number 2. This time it's Kuyate again on the handoff. And the Bucs do call timeout. So they get inside. They'll have one more left after this. Second down and 8, 26 seconds to go. Backs in the eye. Hand off to Forte up the middle. He gets the first down. That'll stop the clock, temporarily anyway. Bucs don't really have any form of a hurry-up offense. They call a timeout. This is quite possibly where they run halfback or some type form of a halfback pass or to toss out to McLaughlin, let him throw it into the end zone. They like to run that play around half, right before the end of the half when they're at midfield. So I'm thinking that's what we're going to see here. You got to make sure McLaughlin's in the game. .3 the time. Right at midfield. And they throw it out of bounds. They call timeout to throw it out of bounds. I'm not sure that was the play. So we'll try it again. I mean, that's the darndest thing I've ever seen. He just dropped back and threw it out of bounds. I mean, the clock was stopped, so it wasn't like he was trying to stop the clock. This time it goes to Call, who can't get out of bounds. And no timeouts. And that'll be the half. Pennwood trots off, wisely. So it doesn't appear as if they're going to get to run another play. So here we are at halftime, 16-6. We'll see when we get back. That's Forte on the first down carry as we go under the 5-minute mark in quarter 3. Bucs down 10. I honestly can't think of the last time the Bucs lost 4 games in a row. I mean, I've been doing these games a long time. And I really can't think of the last time a Steve Lennox coach team lost 4 in a row. You know, to go like a month in the season without picking up a win. Pennwood jumps off sides. So that'll make the 3rd down and 4 become a 1st down. So the Bucs will move the chain that way. Kuyate. Maybe a yard. I told Kylie today, I said, you owe me a touchdown. And I honestly thought it would just be like a formality that he would get a touchdown. And now I'm not so sure. This is Grebe. Grebe will get a 1st down. Stay in bounds as well. So the quick stoppage of the clock, and then they'll reset. .44-yard line, 45-yard line, the line of scrimmage. Kuyate in motion. Grebe again. Grebe finds a hole, gets up near midfield. So 2nd down at about 6. Bucs playing Bucs football. Forte got about 3. Bunch of Pennwood guys on. Play was blown dead like 10 seconds ago, dude. Davey Rush. And things getting a little bit chippy here between the sidelines and the folks on the Pennwood team. A 3rd and about 3. And close to 1st down yardage goes Forte. So the 45-yard line will be 1st down. Under a minute and a half to go. Well, the clock moves pretty quickly when one team has the ball. Option pitch. Della Priscoli keeps and gets 4. Hand off to Grebe. Grebe first down. Quick stoppage of the clock, and then they reset back to 35 and count 30 and counting. So maybe one more play. Grebe again. And of course, he goes out of bounds. And they threw a flag this time. But then in the process, the Pennwood player got hurt. And he gets up and trots off the field. That's that Junior Gabali, number 23. So a personal foul called against Pennwood for the late hit out of bounds. 17-yard line. This is Forte, and into the end zone, touchdown. And he was barely touched. Now Forte from 16 yards out. And that'll bring this game to within 4. I'm guessing they go for 2 here. Oh, I think the wise move is go for 2, but no, they're going to try and kick it. Della Pascoli is taking over for Convery as the kicker. And they end up pulling it up, and Ventura throws it to Grebe. So a 2-point conversion is good on the fake kick. Backup quarterback Mike Ventura pulls up out of the hold and finds Grebe in the end zone for a 2-point conversion. So 16-14. So Bucs down 2, but they need a stop. Squib kick on the kickoff. Not much, up to the 38. But the potent Pennwood offense will take over again as soon as we start the 4th quarter. After this quick timeout. Injured player Evan Sorrentino. He trots off. So Johnson Jr. and Pennwood. Desmond Johnson Jr. has had a pretty good game. 6'2" sophomore. He's listed at 6'2" and 240, so impressive size. There's certainly no loss for athletes on the Pennwood side. Johnson fumbles a snap. He's such a load to bring down as Johnson. They're still trying. They finally blow it dead. But it'll be a pretty big loss for Pennwood. But like half the Interboro team tried to bring him down. Almost 10 yards of loss on the play. The 2nd and 19. The Bucs need the ball back. They wind the clock again, 11:15 and counting. Johnson. And Zizza with a big stick. And he might have gotten the ball. He might have gotten the ball. I don't see the ref changing the possession, but it looked like he got it. He did! And Zizza grabbed it right out of Johnson's hands when he made the stick. And Interboro gets the ball back in fantastic field position. So he was able to pretty much fall on top of him and wrestle the ball out of his hands. And it looked like Johnson was empty-handed when he came up. You can see the Bucs saying, hey, no, we got it. And the referee and linesman agreed. And Darryl Priscoli and the Bucs are back on the field. 24-yard line, 10:54 to go. And there's new life here. It looks like Pennwood wants to call a timeout. I guess a new way of calling timeout is just to have the coach run out on the field. So exciting times in the last 11 minutes or so of game action, we hope, as Interboro has fallen behind and been behind all game. Pennwood scored on their first drive. Interboro scored but didn't get the conversion, so behind 8-6. Pennwood scores again with a two-pointer to make it 16-6. And then Interboro just scored with Forte with a two-point conversion to make it 16-14. And now the Bucs have the ball back. And now it's Call. Call with a lane. Call inside the 10, down to the 5, and inside the 5. 20 yards on the play and then some for Call. They'll give him 19. Down to the 5-yard line. So 1st and goal, Bucs. Kuyate. Ball on the ground. Bucs picked it back up, but my gosh. Feeling lucky. They've lost a couple already. And it looked like Kali got his own fumble. They'll lose a couple, but they could deal with that as long as they had the ball back. That ball's batted up in the air and almost intercepted. Ball thrown behind McLaughlin. The 3rd down and goal from the 7. 4 down territory for sure. Jared Dell, pressure, floats it up. Too high, intended for Call. Good coverage on the play also by Pennwood, so it'll be 4th down. And they would definitely, well, there's 2 things. I think they'd like to have a reliable field goal kicker right now, which is not the case. And more importantly, they don't want to waste that turnover that gave him such excellent field position. And they don't want to give Pennwood the ball back. Pop pass and Dan Cole, oh man! Had it in his hands and it was knocked out. Great defensive play. And Cole took a lick. Oh man. Danny had it and started to bring it in and it just got popped. And Dan will tell you he probably should have had it, but at the same time, he took a wallop there. Pennwood takes over to 7. Plenty of time left, 9:46. Pennwood, the handoff deep in their territory. It's about 7 yards. Johnson Jr. still on his feet. Probably a 1st down. They call a timeout for a measurement, but I don't think that's necessary. With 8:48 to go in the 4th. They do give him the 1st down, but there's a timeout on the field. And a handoff up the middle, not much there. And, you know, if you're Pennwood here, I think that what you want to do is grind out as much of this clock as possible. You know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to start throwing the ball. You want to, I mean, if you can find a matchup, that's great, but you don't want to stop that clock at all. You want to keep those seconds moving off. Take as much time in the huddle as you can. get all the way down to the play clock, run the ball, try to run the ball effectively. And if Interboro is going to get the ball back, give it back to him with as little time as possible. A penalty on Pennwood, and that's the problem. Sometimes when you get out of your natural rhythm, mistakes happen. So Pennwood does stop the clock, and they do lose 5 yards. So now, 2nd down and 15. And ref imploring them to wind the clock, but 10 seconds didn't tick off. Johnson Jr. almost brought down by Dowdy. Still on his feet. Flips it up. Intercepted. Dan Call with the pick. And that'll make him feel a little better about that drop touchdown. Dan Call inside the 30. So great field position again for the Bucs. And Grebe, not much. A little bit too much side-to-side running. So 2nd down and 10 at the 30 as we're going to go under 7 minutes left to play in this ball game. Forte stopped shy of the line of scrimmage. He'll lose 2. Bring up a 3rd down and long. High formation set. Pitch out to Kuyate. Kali. He'll get 4 or 5, but unfortunately, he's still going to be 7 or 8 yards shy of a 1st down. So it'll be 4th down and about 6 or 7. Under 6 to play. Dell drops back, looking for Convery. Intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone. Bowens, who's returned a couple of kicks nicely. And that ball was really never really on line for Convery. Convery was technically behind his receiver. He's more away from him than behind him. The ball just wasn't thrown on line to a spot where Convery could go up and get it. So in that respect, I guess you could say it was underthrown. And Bowens was inside of his man and was able to pick it off. And Pennwood will have possession of the ball at the 13-yard line. Oh, 8:40 or 5:41 left. Pennwood obviously, going to try and whittle away the clock. As you can see what happens when they tried to pass it last time. and they made a big mistake. Unfortunately, they were able to elude any difficulty because Interboro, you know, since they got within 2, have had 2 chances and unable to punch it in. You see also what not having a kicker does, because they were in field goal range with a chance to go up by 1. Johnson Jr. almost intercepted by Convery this time, who's, you know, pretty much been silent in this contest. Guy who in other games has really contributed quite a bit, especially on the special teams. I haven't said much about him tonight, but he did almost intercept that pass. But the pass was in the dirt and really one-hopped him. Another high snap, corralled by Johnson. He fires over the middle, complete for a first down. Brian Parker Jr. with the catch, and that's a tough one. Not the end of the world, not the end of the game, but with 4:44 to go. Inside of 5 minutes, fresh set of downs. Another minute or so at least can sit off the clock. And at some point, Coach Lennox is going to have to start considering timeouts. Now 4 wide receivers and 1 running back. Handoff. One or 2 yards. Student section silent, you know, not silent, but not a whole lot of activity over there because I guess there's not really a lot of, can't really talk too much junk when you're behind, I suppose. And Pennwood, it's about to the 38-yard line, as they run that stretch play made famous by John Madden football and the Indianapolis Colts as well. Alamami Thali. By the time they snap again, it'll be close to 3 minutes to go. 3rd down and 2. First down here, we could have some problems. Keeper. They're going to rely on the big quarterback, and that's wise. First down Pennwood at the 45. They'll temporarily stop it and then wind it up again. And now it is time to start taking some timeouts. As we go under 3. And what you figure is Pennwood's not going to put the ball up. So unless they can force a fumble, they're not going to get the ball back. And, you know, Pennwood wisely taking every second they can. Flag on the play. They probably did get a delay of game. First and 15. I don't know what the conference is about now. They may have had a timeout. So I guess a timeout was called before the delay of game penalty. So put the 5 yards back. Ball spotted at the 45. It'll still be 1st and 10. 2:29, but the clock is stopped. It's your girl. Down there. You guys BFF? Me neither. We sure hope all you Interboro parents out there, especially those of you with kids at the high school, join us on Tuesday night for back to school night. Come out and see your kids' teachers. Great opportunity for you to see me in a suit. Plenty of merchandise for sale in the cafeteria before, during, and after the event. Pennwood, another 1st down. There's 2:22 to go. Lipe. Now it's the 43-yard line. Clock starts again, 2:15 and counting. And Pennwood's just going to sit and wait, and why not? Interboro calls a timeout, and it's tough to do that after you have a 7-yard gain, but they do. .158 is going to be the time left on the clock when we resume action in just a moment or two. As much as you want, it is desperation time. There's no question about it. But we're still not outside the realm of possibility that the Bucs can win this football game. Really the only thing that could make me say that this game is over is that the Bucs had no timeouts and Pennwood had a full set of downs. But it's 2nd down and 3. The clock is stopped at 1:58. A turnover here, and the Bucs still have a chance. They're only down 2 points. Odd formation here for Pennwood. They're just trying to get this last 1st down. They try and get the quarterback ahead, and I'm going to tell you, I think he's about a half a yard short. And they'll call a timeout again. But it'll be 3rd down and about the length of a football. And one more 1st down and probably be curtains for the Bucs. And as I said, if you're an Interboro fan, put it this way. Interboro was 2-0 before the first day of school for the students. And since school has started, the Bucs haven't won a football game. Now put that in perspective. I don't think I've ever seen that in the Steve Lennox era. So we're certainly hoping for a win here. Coach D'Esposito, whatever magic you have to prevent them from getting this final half a yard in 2 plays, or to help wrestle that football away, I hope he imparted that wisdom on the defensive line. Pennwood, the benefit of a 240-pound quarterback. They'll keep it in his hands wisely. But Interboro gets him behind the line of scrimmage for a sack. And they will use that last time out. And truthfully, like, other than getting the ball, I would call this best case scenario because the only thing now that could be a dagger would be a first down. If Pennwood passes and it's incomplete, the clock stops because of a change of possession. If Pennwood runs it and they don't get it, again, clock stops on a change of possession, and it's about a minute and a half left for Interboro to try and get the ball down the field. Now, it seems like they're going to have to score a touchdown. Convery was doing the kicking. He's got a pretty good leg. I don't actually know why he's not still doing the kicking. Della Priscoli, the quarterback, was the place kicker, but he hasn't kicked one through tonight. So, now the last couple of years, the Bucs had the advantage of having Colin Ravert as a kicker. And he also played, this last year he played tight end as well and played linebacker. But Colin has moved on. He's at Wesley College. There to play some football and lacrosse. And there's not a whole lot of play. I don't think we're going to have a situation like the Eagles had where Jake Elliott booted a 61-yard field goal. It's just not going to happen. So, Pennwood says they're going to punt. And this is probably the best thing for them to do. Convery the fair catch. They're at the 13. 87 yards and a minute 34. A junior quarterback looking for a comeback win. This could be the makings of some great television, Mrs. Malinich. Pennwood fans on their feet. Bucs fans not quite sure what to do yet. Jared Dell looking for a man outside. Overthrows Convery. And the throws will have to be a little bit more crisp than that. But you know that you're going to see sideline patterns all the way down the field. There's time. 15, 20 yards of play. It only takes, 6 or 7 seconds to run a 15-yard play out of bounds. But they got to connect. You don't see Bucs in the 4 wide very often. They run it. Della Priscoli keeps it. Della Priscoli on his feet. He's got to get out of bounds. Past the 40 to the 45. And if nothing else, the clock will stop because of the first down. Hopefully he got out of bounds, but a nice chunk of change or a nice chunk of yardage picked up by Jared Dell as they spread him out wide and let the quarterback just run with it. 43.5-yard line. So 30 on the carry. He did get out of bounds, so the clock stopped. Colin Convery, the wide receivers to the near end. They'll go to Kuyate, and he's stuffed. And I guess they were just trying to. Now they had 2 plays called in the huddle, so they'll run hurry up. Fake the spike. Danny Call, the catch, doesn't get out of bounds. Or does he? Clock keeps running, under a minute. So they got to hurry up, and the referee's got to set that ball. That umpire, you got to be quicker on the setup. And if that was caught, that's the worst thing that could have happened because the clock is still running. And they'll have to put a couple seconds back on the clock there. Oh, yeah. Now, prior to that last play, That umpire, very slow spotting that ball. 6 or 7 seconds ran off the clock. Be good. So we'll reset here. 4th down and 6. And 3rd. Yeah, so the scoreboard says 3rd down, but the guy on the sideline says 4th. The guy on the microphone says 4th, but I guess the referee wants everything to be congruent, and I guess I understand that. But it is 4th down and 6. Just so everybody's clear. Scoreboard not changing. There's 37.1 seconds left. Will we have another miracle at South Avenue Field? Will we have another one of those finishes that we wind up playing over and over again? And the referee wants to build the drama. There's definitely not 4.4 seconds, so this game won't restart until they get the clock right. That much I know. And I guess what I tell you one thing, man. Every time there's a mess up on the clock, I think about trying to run the clock during the Powder Puff game. And how much I miss my boy Jake, who used to help me out. Rest in peace, my friend. You're missed. I think about you every one of those Powder Puff games and every time the clock gets messed up. But the fans are trying to tell the clock operator, yo, man, 44 seconds. And with the referee not having a microphone, I mean, maybe he could send the clock guy like a text message or something. Maybe I could go back down there and set it for him. You'll hear that big sarcastic applause from the crowd. I mean, if nothing else, I guess it gives the Bucs all the time in the world to draw up the perfect play to get these 6 yards. So now we have 43.3. Maybe that's close enough. But it's 4th down. Let's set it up. You got McLaughlin out wide. You got Colin Convery on the near side. Over the middle. It's caught for a 1st down. So McLaughlin with the catch. Then they'll kill the clock, but that's okay. They don't care about the down. So 2nd down and 10 from the 41, but they have plenty of time to get this next play off. 34 McLaughlin. Call out to Kuyate. Kuyate inside, but they can't be getting caught in the open field like that. Clock on a run. They're trying to pop one. I understand the concept behind the play. Convery has got to get out of bounds. He does. 4th down and about 3 with 16.5 left. Now this is right around the area where the play happened last year. Will lightning strike twice? And it was the same situation too. 4th down, short. Near hash mark. Oh, Katie Maggs, if this happens again, you're going to hear an explosion. I formation. 4th and 3. Short pass, Convery inbounds. But the clock keeps running. No, it doesn't keep running. It's a first down, so it'll stop quickly, and they'll have to once the ball gets reset and they wind the clock, they'll have to kill the clock. And now they'll have to throw it into the end zone, you'd think. 10.7. They probably have time for one, if they're lucky, 2 shots into the end zone. If you're Pennwood, the play here is to put somebody back deep. If you're Jared Dale, getting the ball into the end zone is not a problem. It's only 30 yards. You just got to hope that somebody's tall enough to grab it. 10.7. Dell with the snap. Rolls out left. Throws it up. In the end zone. Falls short. 4.2. We have time. We have time for one more. He threw it on a line. Not much air under it. We'll see which direction they try and go this time. Got to get Kuyate and McLaughlin back in the end zone, or back in the huddle, rather. Again, ball on the 30. .2 is the time left. That's it. Win or lose. Grebe and Convery near end. Pressure. Dell steps up. Fires into the end zone. What's it going to be? Knocked down. Intercepted. Either way, it's incomplete, and Pennwood has beaten Interboro. They're running all over the field. I mean, hey, listen, I'm glad, happy for them. They got a win. I don't know that this type of celebration is necessary. They act like they just won the Super Bowl. That kid's got to get off the sideline. He's got to get off our sideline. And that number 25, what a clown. You just don't do that. That's bad. That's bad for business. And you ought to go put his helmet on. A good job on the Bucs sideline policing some of the, bravado that you see from some of the Interboro players right now. There's no sense in getting yourself in any more trouble. Put your helmet on and shake hands. Go back to practice this week. Well, that's 4 in a row for the Bucs. They take one 16-14 this week, and we'll hope to be back next week for homecoming, where the Bucs will play Chi right back here on the Interboro Television Network. For Katie Maggs, I'm Bill Soroka. We'll see you next week.